Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It is the same night that I did my video on oversharing. And I decided to pop on a little wig because I'm trying to be a baddie. Little filter. I didn't feel like putting on makeup. True story. Um, and this video is actually about being a stay-at-home mom and the whole trad wife pipeline thing. And to clear this up, it's called the trad wife to poverty pipeline. And what it is that there are women who gave up their career aspirations, if they ever had any, to be a wife and a mother and do all of this invaluable work. That's a word I've used a few times today. Anyway, to do all of this invaluable work that helps not only that man, but society as a whole, only to, for whatever reason, find themselves single moms and struggling because they don't have the outside of home work experience. And I've had people say things to me over the years of like, hey, what are you going to do if a man doesn't take care of you? Or, what if he decides he doesn't want to be with you anymore? He trades you in, or things happen or whatever. Luckily for me, not really, I found myself in a situation like that, where my ex and I parted ways, and it was irreconcilable differences. Okay, well, kind of, sort of. That's a long story, but I know that I made the right decision. Now, I did look back, and that's very normal. And don't, if you are someone who you've looked back on a relationship in which you knew did not suit you and did not match your goals and desires and standards for yourself, what have you, it's okay. It happens. They say that it takes 7 breakups in certain cases to end a relationship finally that is not good for you. Okay? So I'm not going to beat myself up over it too much. And now my former partner and I, we are co-parenting. We get along. Yeah, that's what's going on now. But he worked, I didn't. And so I do feel kind of sort of qualified to talk about this topic, to say this. Now, I was fortunate enough to come from a background where, my mother, she had me, and my baby girl, so I'm still quote unquote comfortable and everything, but I understand that's not everybody's story. There's 2 schools of thought. There's people who tell you, oh, it's okay to be a trad wife and da 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 da. And then other people who, it's kind of this all or nothing thing. Other people who are like, oh no, ladies, get your own money, like da 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 da. Here's what I would say. If you do not work and you do not care to work, especially, and you are in a position where you have access to the money, I think it's okay to have your own savings account so that for whatever reason, it could be for the good of your family as a whole. It doesn't necessarily have to be for, separation reasons, but you'll have your own little backup fund. You may not be able to put aside a lot depending on, the person that you're dealing with, who's the breadwinner, but you can maybe put aside enough for you to, get out of that situation if need be. You know what I mean? Like maybe a few $1,000s or something like that. Again, every situation is unique. I don't think people are wrong to tell women to have their own money. But I can use an example like that. Another thing is if you can do side hustles, which I feel like there are a lot of women who come on the internet and talk about being a trad wife and bragging and everything. And baby, it's a side hustle. If you're earning money, if people are sending you things, it's a side hustle, And so you're still working, but I mean, that's good work if you can get it. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm not doing this because I'm lazy. I mean, I'm like, honestly, from the time that I was a child, I have wanted to have my own radio show or TV show. Like, I grew up on talk shows, Oprah Winfrey. My mom used to listen to this radio guy. I want to say his name was Bruce Williams. And I used to just think to myself, oh, I would love to do that. Like, I'm very opinionated and I just wanted to talk, at the public and everything and to the public, all that. And nowadays it's 2025. Get on camera, and get on TikTok, get on YouTube, get your own podcast, whatever. And so to me, this is me living my dream, and where I think I personally am the most effective outside of my home, like outside of being, say, a mom and everything, is doing this. And so that's why I'm interested in doing it. And, that's where I am. But with me, I'll say this. Hold on one second, my eye. With me, my views are, I don't mind making money on my own. In fact, I'll level with you, quiet as is kept. I think I'm a very bright person. I don't think I'm a genius, but I think I'm a very bright person. I know I'm a very creative person. I have a lot of really good ideas and everything. And I don't think that God gave me those things by mistake. So I think I'm intended to use them. But I don't want the pressure of taking care of a man, of course, taking care of my child or children, and then having to earn a living. I think that's insane. I mean, and when I say having, I mean literally having to get up and go to work, whether I want to or not, and, stressing out and still being expected to come home and deal with all that. My head would explode. Okay, I can't do that, and I'm not interested in doing that. So that's why I state I'm looking for a provider, but I do want someone who he has to be okay with the idea of me having my own ventures. And either they prosper or they don't, but it's different when there's no pressure on you because it's not the difference between your children eating or not versus when it is, then I feel like that's where I'm like running back into the whole being a stay-at-home mom idea. I hope that makes sense. Like, so I'm down for stay-at-home moms hustling. I think you should. I really do. I think you should. The way things are, I think you should. But I can understand if you feel like me that you don't want your family to have to rely on whether or not you make money. Okay, that it is an accessory and not the entire outfit to your family functioning properly. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'll go ahead and cut it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.